So this past week has been full of a number of unexpected moments, including being recognised from primary school. Still doesn't make sense to me, but we are where we are. Doing something that literally took my breath away, and realizing that when things are meant to align, they will absolutely do so. There's also been a moment that reminded me that I just need to trust my body a little bit more, and a surprising win that happened when I did trust my body. And there's been loads of little joys that really made me like feel great in the best way possible. I'm River Thames. This is the Weekly Unfold, my space to look at the asks, the gratitude, the lessons, the reminders, all the things that have helped me navigate the past week. Let's get into it. My ask this week, honestly, was curiosity led. I asked how on earth somebody could remember me from primary school. Let me take you back to the scene. I was on my way to the cinema and someone called out my name, and I was like, huh? I was already kind of lost. I was looking at my phone and I was like, huh? And she literally had turned around and she was looking at me and she was like, huh? And I was like, yeah. And she said, Shahana. And then she said, Bonner Primary? I said, Bonner Primary? It was at this point that I realized, oh, she really does know me. Meanwhile, I'm standing there thinking, I barely remember the names of people that I went to university with. You're talking about primary school? Okay. So I had to ask, how on earth do you remember me? And she said something that stuck. She remembered me, one, because apparently I still look the same, but two, because she remembered that I used to write great stories. And she even referenced this story that I'd written just before the Harry Potter series came out, excuse me. And yeah, so she just always remembered that of me. I was stood there thinking, wow. I love storytelling, and I'm constantly thinking about how do we tell better stories? How I help other people be brave enough to share their stories? How can I be brave enough to share my stories? And to think that like I actually have had this love for storytelling for a long time. Like it's not just something that just suddenly happened. No, babe, you've been doing storytelling and loving storytelling for a while, since you were a baby girl. So yeah, it was wild, but that was the ask. I was like, how do you know me? From primary school. Face card. Alright, the failure was all about not getting the details. My friend Sierra planned a birthday experience for me, which I love. My birthday was like the very last day of last year, and I'd said to everyone, if you want to get me something, give me money or get me an experience. I haven't seen much money. To be fair, I'm still waiting for some of those experiences. However, Sierra said, it's cost of living, mate. I'm not giving you money, so you experience something. Cool. I didn't ask enough questions. And in not asking enough questions about the upcoming experience, I had absolutely no clue. Like, not an inkling. And so I turned up to a speedboat ride on the River Thames. Let me be clear. For anyone that loves adrenaline, you adrenaline lovers, this would be fantastic. You'd have a ball. For me, Ramat Tajani, who doesn't do, like, when we used to go to like theme park, I would hold people's coats. Like I'd pay to get in, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll hold your coats, guys. You have fun. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Me, I literally lost my breath. It was going so fast, and I was in such shock as to the speed we were going. I literally lost my breath. It starts off slow, and then it goes literally just after you go past the police station standby thing, and they're like, oh, wave at the police. And I'm like, yeah, now in hindsight, I know you want me to wave at the police because you want me to be an accomplice in your activities which feel illegal. I promise you, it should be illegal to drive at that speed on any piece of water. Anyway, there's a video somewhere. Like, we've got a snippet of the video that this couple from Canada took, and they were like, you're so hilarious. I was like, I'm glad I entertained you, but whoo! Yeah, anyway, it was a lot, and next time I need to remember to ask for the itinerary. Even if it's a surprise, or if it's like, I need to have some more context, because then we won't be in the situation that I was in. If you see the pictures, Sierra's going with her hands up, yeah, and there's me holding on for dear life. I was saying to them, we need seatbelts on this thing. Anyway, we are where we are. I'm back on solid ground and I'm still friends with gravity. Sometimes you have to trust your body more than your schedule. So this past week, I actually missed a couple of the scheduled boxing sessions, and I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a bit guilty for it, but it's just the way in which my calendar worked out. I just couldn't make some of the sessions. There was tube strikes in London this past week, and that also became an issue with trying to get to some of the locations. So by the end of the week, I thought to myself, instead of forcing it and feeling guilty, etc., I'm just gonna listen to my body. It was a Friday and I said, I'm just gonna go for a run. No pressure, no expectations, just getting out there one step in front of the other. And guess what? It turned into a 41-minute non-stop run. Honestly, I was so proud of myself. So proud of myself. Because sometimes your body knows what you need and you just have to listen to it. And if you had asked me how long the run would be, I would have told you, oh, I'm just going for like a little 20-minute like jog slash run slash walk slash moving. It turned into a 41-minute. Let's not, like, I'm not gonna lie to anyone, I wasn't like speeding, I was jogging, but I was so proud of myself. And I looked at my app, it said, it turned out that I did, I think 2.8 miles, which is about 4.5k. I would take it. So feeling very proud of the fact that I had listened to my body and wasn't so pressed about my schedule. When things align, let them. A really good friend of mine, Dion, reached out to me last minute asking if I could help out on a project, and I wanted to help so badly, but I already had plans, the speedboat plans that I just mentioned, and so I couldn't commit. But I said to her, because I didn't know what the plans were, if the timings mean that like we finish early or whatever, I'll give her a call and we'll see. We finished the speedboat. I survived. And I called her and said, look, actually, we're now free. If it still can work out, we can make it happen. And it did. I'm just so glad I checked in and we were actually able to align and I was able to support her. And together we created something so special. Like, it just felt like one of those moments where everything that was meant to be came together. So yeah, sometimes it's not about like forcing the thing or overthinking. And you know, like I would have, when I think back to the old me, I probably would have been like, okay, I'm going to try and go to my thing and then I'm going to run here and run there. I would have overthought it and it would have been a mess. It probably wouldn't have worked out. But sometimes you just let it flow. If it's meant to align, it will align. Can't wait to see the results of what we worked on and let the world see all of her great ideas. Super thankful and grateful for marshmallows in hot chocolate. Listen, if you haven't tried marshmallows in hot chocolate, I don't think you really live life. Now, when I was younger, I used to do it a lot, and you could buy like these mini marshmallows and just put them in a little hot chocolate. And when we went to do the speedboat ride thing, and then we went to do this other thing to support my friend, it got cold. It got really cold. Like the sun was out earlier in the day, but it got super cold. And I was like, I just need a hot chocolate. I need something warm. I went to Costa because it was the first coffee shop that I saw. And I said to the guy, oh, I just want to order a hot chocolate. And he was like, oh, the special one's not here. And I was like, I don't know what the special one is. I just want a regular one. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, do you know what? I really wish you guys did marshmallows because that would be just elite. And he was like, we do marshmallows. I was like, is it you guys that did the marshmallows? I wasn't sure because I don't usually buy drinks from the coffee shops. So I wasn't sure who did it. I wasn't sure if it was Costa. I wasn't sure if it was Pret. I wasn't sure if it was, I don't know, any of the Cafe Nero. I had no idea. And he was like, no, like we do. I was like, come on. It was so nice. And he sprinkled, what did he do? He added like hazelnut something, like a bit of a hazelnut syrup. Anyway, all that to say, very thankful and grateful for marshmallows in hot chocolate. You should try it. Joy's simple, unexpected joy. Also randomly grateful for new insights and learning random things this past week. So, for example, Did you know that there are actually cleaners who specialize in post building work cleaning? I didn't. It would have been super helpful information for the works that I've had done and the amount of dust. You learn something new. There's those loads of bits of random knowledge that I've kind of picked up in the past week, and I was like, oh, who knew? Now I do. Theatre trips. I went to see one of the last showings of Jaja's African hair braiding. It's set in a braiding salon in New York, and the various braiders come from across West Africa. And it was so good. It was so good. There's a lady actually that I met only the end of last year, Danny, I can't remember her surname, and she was in it as well. And I was like, it was sick. There's just something about being in a cinema and being fully immersed in all that's going on, especially when like the world is doing whatever the world's doing. So I appreciated being in a completely different world in the middle of the week just for a moment. So yeah, the show was really good, and it left us with food for thought, which I really liked. It didn't like conclude in a way that we were like, okay, we know what's happened. Like, they actually left everyone with food for thought. So yeah, it was really good. I got to see it with my friend Abby, who I hadn't seen for a while, so we caught up, and yeah, it was delightful. Really good show. Looking ahead to week 18 of 52. I don't know, this week ahead just feels a bit lighter. I think it has something to do with the fact that the sun is out and people are actually smiling more. I don't know, I even feel readier to show up for myself in different ways again. And yeah, I'm not sure what that looks like, but I'm feeling good, feeling really good. So let's see how it goes, but it should be fun. As always, stay out of trouble unless it's good trouble, in which case, go wild. See you soon.